Hello, my name is Anneshia Freeman. I'm also known as the locksmith because I make keys for people who are locked up in their minds. Once again, I'm sitting here in my kitchen, which happens to be one of my workstations, and I decided to make another video. Most of the other videos that I've made in the past have been based on various chapters in my book. My book is entitled What's Really Going On, and it features 31 of my articles that have been written in the vein of cognitive restructuring and featured in my bi-weekly column in the Grand Rapids Times. This time I've decided to do something a little different. A while back I made a video based on the chapter in my book entitled Was It the Trap or the Cheese? What's Your Cheese? And apparently that particular video has gotten a lot of attention. And apparently it's gotten some attention also from the kingdom of darkness, because I've been seeing some retaliation posts online, meaning that I'm seeing cartoon images based on the concept that I discussed in that chapter in my book and on the video about the trap and the cheese. So in my video, I talk about how a lot of people keep getting their necks snapped in the trap because they're cheese-matized. They are so focused on the cheese that they don't see the jaws of the trap. And so I talk about that concept. I use it as an analogy to how a lot of people keep finding themselves in the same types of dysfunctional relationships, or keep finding themselves going in and out of prison, or getting in other having other legal issues because they keep trying to find the so-called easy way out of poverty by becoming involved in illegal activities. So that's what the video was about that I made a while back. So since I made that video and uploaded it to my YouTube channel, I have been seeing cartoon depictions about that concept, but in a derogatory, challenging manner. So I saw one picture of a mouse in a sling suspended over the trap, and he's lifting the cheese off the trap without getting snapped. Okay, and then someone just texted me a picture they found online, and in this first cartoon with the mouse hanging from the air and snatching the cheese, that was straight up plagiarism. They even quoted the title of my chapter there. I don't mind if you're gonna cite me. You're gonna, you try to use my material, even if it's to counteract me, at least cite me, dude. Okay, anywho, so then someone text me a picture of someone put online of a mouse who've removed the cheese from the trap, and the mouse is actually doing push-ups with the bar from the trap. The part of the trap that snaps the neck, the mouse is lifting it up and getting stronger. And at the bottom it says, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Okay, so I expect the kingdom of darkness to come back. They make a lot of money off snapping people's necks in the trap. So I expect them to come back because they do cognitive restructuring too. You've got to be really good to keep tricking the same group of people, or the same people. Yeah, same group of people. I was trying to think of a nicer way to say it. But if you keep tricking the same group of people into getting their necks snapped in the trap, you're doing some cognitive restructuring too. TOO. So, I would like to talk about an article that I wrote after I published my book. It'll be in my next book that I'll release later this year in the fall of 2014. It's called, the name of this article was Revisiting the Trap or the Cheese. Okay, because I deemed it necessary to address this topic later, about a year later, after I had written the first article about the trap and the cheese, because I kept seeing people getting their necks snapped, and it just kept bothering me. And so I see that the other team is trying to convince people that, don't listen to Miss Freeman, the locksmith, talk about getting your neck snapped in the trap. You can outwit the trap. Really? Yeah. Well, do the math. Yeah, let's make a video about do the math. How many people do you know that make it out of the trap without getting their neck snapped? Huh? There's a gentleman in this particular city I live in who makes a lot of money off rest in peace t-shirts. That's his main product. That's his trend now. You know, the young people that are dying from because they were cheese-matized and didn't see the jaws of the trap. Now when they die, they have a rest in peace t-shirt that has the day they were born, the day they die, and a picture of them. And they usually cheesed out in the picture with the bling and the spleen, but they're dead, okay? And so, anywho, I wrote another article addressing that topic again called Revisiting the Trap and the Cheese. It's not in my book. It'll be in the next one. And in that article, I talk about a rap show that I stumbled across one night when I was at home. I was, sometimes I'm channel surfing when I'm half asleep late at night. And I came across a local channel, and it was a local club here in the city where I live. And they feature rap artists. And so these gentlemen, I was impressed. I was impressed by their technique. I mean, they were flowing, they were smooth, they were polished, they had excellent technique, but their words were ridiculous. They were saying, I'm not going to even articulate what they were saying. I'll just tell you the message they were communicating. They were communicating a message that they can engage, that they were saying that they plan on engaging in a particular illegal behavior, and they identify the illegal behavior that they're going to engage in. And then they also said they're going to do another illegal behavior. In fact, they said, we're going to do both. We're going to do both. We're going to commit both of these crimes. And the reason we're going to commit these crimes is so our kids can eat. And that was the chorus of the rap song. And then they came in and they were switching off, and several of them would be in the back with the chorus, and another guy would be, rapping. And I mean, they were smooth. They were good. And I was like, dude, if you had some real lyrics, you guys could be good. If you had some lyrics about seeing the trap and not getting caught up with the cheese, if you had some lyrics about struggling and sacrificing for years to achieve a goal, if you had some lyrics about creating a product, that one product that can take care of you and your family financially for the rest of your life, dude, if you had some lyrics about that, you would have been saying something. But they were sitting there, and I'm not mad at them. They're a product of their environment. They grow up with seeing this on TV and hearing this and on the headphones, playing video games that's teaching them this stuff. I specialize in cognitive restructuring. I work with adults and youth, so I know that these youth have been cheese-matized, okay? Their lyrics were messed up. And then every now and then a camera would scan the audience, and the audience consisted of other young people, and these young people were in the audience like throwing their hands in the air. Yeah, they was relating it, and they was being cheese-matized. They were actually believing the lyrics. I like the beat. I was at home like, hey, ho, oh, but do you really think I believe that I can commit these two separate crimes and that I would not go to prison or die? I mean, I don't believe that. You couldn't see, let me tell you, let me read the opening quote from the article that I wrote, Revisiting the Trap or the Cheese. It's by Aristotle. I think that's how you pronounce his name. It says, it is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Man, I done been out there in the streets. I'm a recovering addict. I'm from Detroit, and I had a dope habit for years. I grew up in that stuff. So I didn't grow up in the hood, but I grew up around some gangsters. Half of my family was gangster, the other half is bougie. So I was, exposed to two worlds. Anywho, I came in contact with the inner city subcultures during my chemical dependency years, and they re-socialized me into their subculture. So I learned how to navigate that environment so I could survive there. But, first of all, I've been around some gangsters. I'm talking about old school gangsters. I'm not glorifying that lifestyle. They dead. It didn't turn out too well for them either. They're either dead or spending the rest of their life in the penitentiary. But they were gangsters for real, okay? And none of them would be on television saying, hey, I'm committing crime 1 and I'm committing crime 2. And here's my face, and here's the location where I'm at in case you want to come get me. No, they don't do that. Okay, so first of all, I beg to differ with your gangster or persona, if you're on television saying, hey, I commit this crime and I commit this crime and it's to feed my kids because they will eat. That was the lyrics, basically. So anywho, I go on to talk about in this particular article, why can't you use your gifts and your ability? Because these guys were good. I mean, I respect excellence. I saw the technique. I don't get caught up. I know you've been cheese-matized, poor thing. I know you got some cognitive distortion going on in your mind that makes you get on television and say something ridiculous like that. And you don't see all your other friends that's gotten their necks snapped in the trap. They dead. They rest in peace t-shirts. They're flowers and teddy bears on the side of a road. They doing a double digit time. Some of them are got an L behind their time. They're never getting out. And you still think you gonna zig and zag and not get snapped in the trap, or you gonna bob and weave and not get your neck snapped in the trap, or now like the pictures they're putting on the internet, you gonna suspend in the air over the cheese, or you gonna do push-ups with the trap. Yeah, it's some people doing push-ups right now they're in a yard at the prison right now doing a lifting weights, just like that mouse was lifting the trap bar, getting stronger. It's some people right now on the yard at the penitentiary lifting weights and having somebody spot them so they can get some good muscles so they can go to work in the factory in the penitentiary. Yeah, how about that? Yeah, that trap didn't kill them, but now they're in the yard at the prison getting stronger. Yeah, make a rap song about that. Yeah, rap that. Huh? Knock it off, dude. This is just amazing to me. And it's just a shame because in this article I talk about how those gentlemen actually had all of that talent and they were wasting it like that. And then I also talk about in that particular article, revisiting the trap or the cheese. I talk about, the series of groups that I did at the detention center here in the city where I live. And I did a series of groups, and I was talking to the young gentlemen that were already in the youth detention center, and I had coupons, the little things they can use to buy stuff from the store or get a haircut, and I had a stack of them. And so I was giving them out, as incentives for participation in my group. And I put on an old rap song that was popular at the time. It was straight up garbage. And I put it on because I was trying to teach them the erroneous messages, the distorted thought process that they're being conditioned with to have based on this music. Some of this music, it comes from other sources, but based on a lot of it comes from the music they're listening to. And so these young men, all of them sitting there with their detention center uniforms on and some flip-flops, and they knew every word to that rap song about dope. It was just about slanging dope. They was like, ho, ho. They knew every word. I mean, they was getting down. So then I cut the music off and I told them, if any of you can tell me what FAFSA is, FAFSA. Tell me what FAFSA is. I'll give you 10 of these coupons. Now, 10 of them coupons could really buy them some snacks from the store in the detention center, or it might help them get a haircut. And a lot of them, they was like, ooh. They wanted the coupons, but not one of those young men sitting in my group could tell me what FAFSA meant. They knew every single word to that rap music about selling dope, but they did not know what FAFSA means. Free application for federal student aid. Not one of them could tell me what that meant. And that's too bad. They know what it meant after they leave my group. I'm doing my part. I'm not just talking about a problem. I actually create products to address the problem. I specialize in cognitive restructuring and resocialization. One of the trips that I did with my youth, when I was doing youth, not in the detention center, but I also had a youth group where a lot of the young people were mandated on probation. A lot of the youth who were on probation for various crimes were mandated to come to my group. And so I took, for 3 consecutive years, I took my group to Chicago, to the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, because a lot of the young men and women who were in my group were on probation for selling dope. They were on probation for home invasion and various other crimes. I'm like, oh man, I asked one of the young people the young people, they respect me because they already know. Miss Freeman ain't the one. I'll tell them in a minute. Don't get cut. Okay. Anywho, but one of them, I was giving him a ride, I think, to a little job. He got him a little job. And I was like, so, because I thought he was on probation for dope. I was like, what are you on probation for? He was like, home invasion. So I asked him, I'm like, because you don't know what I'm talking about. I had a lot of kids. I've been working with kids for a long time. So I'm like, okay. And a lot of them were on probation for that. So I was like, because I messed with them, right? I was like, back in the day, people used to case the joint, before. I said, but y'all ain't got that kind of time, huh? I'm like, y'all just run up in there. People, this smoke coming out the chimney, lights are on. I'm not laughing. That's messed up. I mean, I'm laughing because how messed up that thinking is. You just go come up in somebody's house, the car's in the driveway, smoke coming out the chimney, all the lights on. We going. I'm like, wow. So just, take that nerve and take it to the business world and do a legitimate, that gangster, be a legitimate gangster in the business world. Run into somebody, run into the market and snatch somebody's market share, with a better product. I'm just, I try to talk to him. The little guy in the car was like, oh, no, Miss Nisha, I don't do that no more. I don't do that no more. See, these are kids, I heard a Christian rapper say, our youth will follow if we use wisdom to lead them. You don't have to stop making rap songs or music. Why not make music about how to change society, about how to create a product? I met a woman when I was working I was working at the Community Leadership Institute. It was one of my first jobs after I got clean and got my first degree. And I went to a luncheon at the World's Affairs Council. And so this lady was sitting there, and this lady was she's well-to-do, and she was living off her grandmother's money. And so I asked her where her family got, how did her family get rich? And so she said that her grandmother was in the hospital after giving birth to her mother. And the man and her grandmother was trying to rest. She was tired. And the janitor was mopping the floor. And she would nod off to sleep, and he would mop for a while. Then he would drag the bucket. And every time he would drag the bucket, her grandmother woke up, and she was like, oh, so I'm trying to get some rest here. So she went back to sleep, and he would drag the bucket and wake her up again. And so her grandmother sat up in the bed and said, I wish somebody would put some wheels on that bucket. And so guess what? Her family got their money from the patent of putting wheels on buckets. So if you got, these kids are being tricked into thinking that they have to sell dope this woman, she living off her grandmother's ideal. One ideal has taken care of generations. So come on now, make a rap song about how to make one product that can take care of you in the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth generation. Come on now. Why they got to keep getting their neck snapped? Like, that's the only way somebody can make some music. Come on now, we more creative as a society than that. Knock it off, dude. Okay? Then you got a nerve to get mad because I'm trying to help people. Okay, so then, getting back to Chicago, I took my young people to Chicago because most of them were selling dope. I took them to Chicago, to the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, so that they can watch people flip wheat, corn, soybean, pigs, and cows. These kids was blew out because we actually we was there when they opened the market and rung the bell, and we watched them people flip from 9 o'clock a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. That's their flip time, huh? They flipping this the corn pit. I told the kids that's the corn pit. They flipping corn there. Okay, anybody that's making symbols that's facing all like this, they selling. Anybody that's doing stuff like this way, they buying, huh? Because the farmer in the house, he got weight corn. Yeah, he got weight corn. He like, what's up? I got that weight corn, right? Why Frito-Lay in the house? Frito-Lay need corn. Huh? Frito-Lay need corn, baby. Right? Why Kellogg's in the house? Kellogg's need corn. They got to make corn flakes. So then we took them around to the back where they flip pigs. The pig farmer in the house. I got 500. I got 500 pigs. I got weight pigs, right? Why? I don't eat pork, but I'm just saying. Some people eat it. Okay, but anywho, why Jimmy Dean in the house? Jimmy Dean in the house because he got to make some sausages. They flipping. So these kids, you got a certain group of people that's being trained to flip wheat, corn, soybeans, pigs, cows, and then other people are being trained and conditioned to flip poison to their own people. I told the young guys in the detention center, I ain't impressed. I ain't impressed when I see you out there on the corner, because I did street outreach with a program for 2 years, part-time, where we rolled in and gave out hygiene packs and condoms and sandwiches and food to these guys out here that's standing on the corner and stuff. Yeah, and I'm an evangelist, and yeah, we gave out condoms. They having sex. No sense in being in denial. They don't, maybe they'll snap out of it and get their life together and don't have to have a horrible disease when they get their life together. So, because some people gave me some when I was out there on the streets, and that's the only reason I believe God used them people to help me not catch a disease while I was out there, so that when I got clean and got my life together, I didn't die from a horrible disease. So anywho, because a lot of Christian people get on my nerves, because somebody called and reported me to my pastor when they saw me out there doing street outreach for my job. Yeah, but they didn't know I had called my pastor and asked him to pray over me before we started doing street outreach. Anywho, I digress. So getting back to the youth, and then after I took the youth to the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, I took them across the street to the Federal Reserve. It's still in Chicago. I used to live there a long time ago. Anywho, and so I took them there so that they can see that, hey, this stuff that y'all out here killing each other for, they print and shred this all day. It's a piece of paper. You the money, your mind, your gift, your talent that you need to develop. You are the money. And so they had a little button where they could push and watch them cut the money up. And they were like, oh no, Miss Nisha. Oh no, Miss Nisha, they cut the money up. Why they cut the money up? I said, because this is a piece of paper this old. They gonna print some new money. And so they got to take a picture with a suitcase that had $1 million in it in 20s, and they got to take home a bag of shredded money, and they were like, I'm gonna tape this together. You're gonna take nothing together. They're gonna take this together. And they had a shredded bag of shredded money that they could take home. But that was a cognitive restructuring and resocialization field trip. So anyway, I'm done. I just wanted to take a few minutes to share this video as a comeback to the kingdom of darkness, putting these derogatory cartoons feeding off my concept. How freaking dare you feed off? And I said frickin', Frickin. A lot of people would say Evangelist Freeman was cussing. Maybe I shouldn't say that word. I'll work on that too. Okay, I'll put that on my list of stuff to work on. But anywho, I made this video to come back at you. Now keep on putting your dysfunctional cartoons up there, because you still making the music, the Peter Piper music. You still making that. I mean, it's, there's always going to be another team. There's always going to be teams against each other. So I don't, think it's anything. I'm not thinking that's strange concerning you still trying to convince people that the cheese is so delicious that they should risk getting their necks snapped in the trap. And understand this, these young people that's risking their lives for that money to get some gym shoes, they don't have a gym shoe problem. They have a worth and value issue. They're not trying to buy gym shoes. They're trying to buy value, recognition, appreciation. Because I tell the young people in my group, they be like, no, Miss Nisha, I buy them gym shoes because I like them. I say, well, then wear them in the house. I say, put those new gym shoes on. Prove to me. You don't have to prove nothing to me, but prove it to yourself. Prove to yourself that you buy those gym shoes for your appreciation. Wear them around your house, and then put on some old raggedy toe-up gym shoes and come outside, because you're telling me you don't care what people think about what you have on. So put on some dirty toe-up, no-name gym shoes and walk around outside, and wear those name brand nice gym shoes in the house for your own appreciation. Put them on and sit in front of the mirror and appreciate yourself. We have fun in my group, because dig this here. You wear them gym shoes because somebody gonna walk up to you and be like, oh man, wow, smack. Oh, you got the oh wow, those gym shoes out cold. So when the people I tell the youth, when somebody is saying that to you, See, you got an issue that tells you have you've been programmed to unconsciously believe that your worth and value as a human being is connected to material possessions. You've been cheese-matized. So anywho, revisiting Trapping the Cheese. That's not in my current book. This is my current book. This article will be in my new book that I'll release later this year. But if you want this book, it has Was It the Trap or the Cheese? What's Your Cheese? Along with a lot of other articles, such as My Issues Make My Budget and My Schedule. Learning the Hard Way, Is That Really Necessary? Finish Strong. What type of esteem do you have? Okay, just to name a few. This book is available on Amazon in ebook and paperback format, or you can purchase it on my website. My website is Anneshia.consulting.com. Anneshia is spelled ANNESHIA. Anneshia.consulting.com. Until next time.